Check it. Amazing. Wow. Yeah. Episode 179 of the AT Show. We've been doing this 179 days. And yeah, today we're joined by a special guest. Welcome on the show, Charbel Zakhour. Is that how you say
Hello.
it?
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah,
Yes.
Zakhour.
Zakhour. Welcome to the
Got
show.
it.
Yeah. Sounds good. And let's just jump right into it, Charbel. Can you share with us what you do?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So basically, I work in the movie industry. I work
Mm.
for Sony Pictures. So I had the marketing for the MENA region. That's the AM 9 to 5 desk job, and then I try to travel as much as possible.
Okay.
I'm addicted to traveling. I have my Insta page. This is how we connected.
Yeah.
Where's my backpack? Yeah, I try to post as much as possible on my travel, my adventures, and just started picking up. And yeah,
Sounds good.
I love
Perfect.
it.
Because I'm a filmmaker. I love
It's
movies.
nice.
I'm a filmmaker. I love movies, and then I love to travel also. So this is gonna be great.
Fantastic.
Sounds good. All right, let's start off
Perfect.
marketing
Awesome.
for
Let's
media in
dig.
the Middle East. Right now, because of movie theaters, everything's shut down. Right, I'm assuming in Lebanon and in the Middle East, movie theaters are shut down. So how are people watching new movies?
So basically, yeah, in the first part, when the severe lockdown came in,
Hmm.
we basically closed down everything.
Hmm.
Luckily now we have some territories that are open, and they're the big territories like the UAE and Saudi. So cinemas are open, of course, with the proper measurements and
I see.
60% and all of that. But
Okay.
still, people wanted to watch the big screen. To answer your question, yeah, everyone moved to online
Hmm.
platforms. Everyone switched to Prime, Amazon Prime, Netflix. Even there's local stuff like cinemas. They have online platform as well. They have a lot of cool stuff, originals, stand-up baladi, which is stand-up comedians from Lebanon.
Oh wow.
I
And
advise you to check it.
what is it
Cinemoz.
called?
It's super cool.
Cine.
Cinemoz. CINEMOZ.com.
Okay. Yeah, we'll link it in
Super
the bio.
cool.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
super
All
cool.
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everyone switched to digital while they were in lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
But we felt that there's a lot of people that really miss the big screen. You would know it's not the same
It's
experience
not the same experience.
watching it. No, you will
Mm-hmm.
never get unless you want to invest $150,000 in your house.
Yeah.
That's a
Right.
different story, but
It is.
you wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
get the whole thing and the whole picture. The sound is different in cinemas.
Mm-hmm.
The whole experience. I just
Yeah.
love it. Like, yeah,
So that's what you're rooting for, like trying to bring people more back and to come to theaters as opposed to watching them
of
at home.
course,
I see.
of course. It's a
Mm-hmm.
different experience. Like if it wasn't the case, the directors wouldn't spend so much money on working on the effects, working on sound, the composer. You know, composing how important it is.
Yeah.
Like all of
Mm-hmm.
that comes together into a big spectacle, and it needs to be celebrated on a big screen. So
Wow.
that's it.
Well, I love how you say that because we need more of that, right? A lot of, I mean, it's really cool how movies are coming on Netflix now and Amazon Prime and Hulu, and there are a lot of great movies coming out.
Of course.
Yes, something I see. If you can talk about this, I like a lot of the movies that hit the theaters though. They're just like the big blockbuster movies, right? Even like movies like Tenet and like other Scorsese movies, they're usually bigger. Do you think there's a chance for more independent movies to like still come, or are they going to Netflix? Do you think?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically,
Mm-hmm.
as you said before I went into the business, I didn't know. Like I used to see a movie that I wanted to watch, and it's an indie movie. It's a small niche movie, and I would say, okay, not this week, next week. You get busy, you don't have the time, and then but in 2 weeks, it's no longer in cinemas.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm inside the business, I understood the whole concept of it, which is the big cinemas in terms of exhibition and the place. You have a lot of movies. That's the problem now. There's a big influx
Yeah.
of movies,
Mm-hmm.
and they need to keep their theaters running on the most efficient financial wise
That makes sense.
when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
movies. And
Mm-hmm.
smaller movies, if people don't go and support these movies, if they don't generate enough revenue, there's no place for them to keep them in cinemas.
Yes.
Financial wise, it makes sense. But at the same time, yes, it is
That's the job of marketing,
something.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Hmm.
is. But at the same time, you won't have the same, like you're a person who likes the movie industry, and
Yes.
whether you're studying or not, you love movies.
Hmm.
And you would know the smaller movies, the niche movies, the special directors, the foreign movies. They don't appeal to mass, and that's the problem. And maybe there's a lack of, not I wouldn't say that education, but sometimes you're not as exposed to this world. When growing up, I wasn't exposed to it,
Yeah.
for example.
Hmm.
And then it's something that you will grow. It's an experience. It's when you're watching movies and you start loving them, and then you start following these small movies that independent, you will love it, and you would want to go and watch everyone. It won't appeal for everyone, and most of them, they
Yeah.
want the big blockbuster movies with Dwayne Rock Johnson or whoever.
Kevin Hart. Yeah,
Really, but
exactly.
yeah,
Jack
yeah,
Black.
but they make a lot of
Jumanji.
money. Yeah, Jumanji, it's our movie at Sony, man. It
I love it.
generates a lot of money,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of families that come. But at the
Hmm.
same time, if there's a smaller movie that comes out, it will eat it up, and it's sort of a law of the jungle as well.
Right. Yeah.
The bigger will survive,
Jumanji.
and it's the same in cinema. Yeah, man, Jumanji is a huge franchise for us.
Yeah.
The first movie, we managed to get the young cast to Dubai. We brought them in. We did the premiere. We went to Dubai Film Festival. It was big,
All right.
and
Yeah.
these are nice movies. And the first Jumanji, of course,
I've
it's a
seen. Yeah, of
classic.
course.
So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
so yeah, I love.
Well, one thing that's happening, I guess, also because of COVID, is that festivals are shut down. So it's harder for even people to send their own features to get seen.
Of course,
So this whole process is disrupted. How are
yeah.
people? Yeah, what's the workaround you're seeing? Because all the big film festivals have been shut down this year, from what I understand.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
but now they've switched not the festivals, they switched them into markets, and
Hmm.
they're gonna do them digitally. For example, the one that happens in the States, the AFM, American Film Market, it's gonna happen on a digital platform. So
Okay.
we would want to keep that front open, because we usually there's a section of the company as well that buys independent movies, and these independent movies, we buy them from these film markets, and we need to keep this going. We need to acquire new movies for us to work on them way in advance. Some studios, they want to acquire the right budget for them to start production once they find enough buyers. So we don't want to kill it, and we all live in that field, and we love it, and we eat off of it. And like it's everything for me. I love movies on the daily basis, and it's
Right.
my work.
Hmm.
And we've noticed that it was a huge hit for us, when COVID hit.
Right.
It was a huge, and we thought,
Hmm.
like everyone else, is gonna pass in a few months, but it keeps on going and going. And
Hmm.
it killed some of the industry. I wouldn't say it weakened the industry,
Wow.
but we're gonna go strong again and finalize the movies that we working on, and start new movies.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I understand that, because I hear
Mhm.
like a lot of movies are just on hold right now till next year, right? The movies that were supposed to get released this
Yeah,
year.
next year
Hopefully.
mostly. We left one movie this year. We managed to keep it. One movie, it's Monster Hunter,
Oh.
and it's based on the game.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's Mila Jovovich, and yeah, we're keeping this one for December, and the rest
I
of the
see.
movies are have been pushed to next year,
Oh.
because
Okay.
some of
Cool.
the big movies. Yeah, but the
Yeah.
big movies, you know how much they cost money,
Yeah.
and if you release it in the world
Right.
now, with
Hmm.
half of Europe is closed down,
Yeah.
stuff like the numbers in the States are frightening as well, and
Right.
like there's still a lot of countries on lockdown.
Hmm.
It won't make enough money for them to.
True.
My dog is
Um.
here.
Hey, dog. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of cool. But there are some movies. Hey, what's the buddy's name?
Lily,
Dilly. Hey, man.
Lily, yeah.
The first dog on the show. Sounds good.
Yeah.
um. There are so some movies I feel like will be able to get, like Trolls 2, for example. I saw that. And that was straight to VOD. Actually saw
That was
that.
a first.
Yeah, I saw that in a
That
drive-in theater. Actually, there was like a
nice.
drive-in
Okay.
theater, and that was a cool
Yeah,
experience.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah. It went back into the market, by the way.
oh, really? Yeah.
Thank you for saying. Yeah, and the UAE, we've done like a 4 or 5 drive-in cinemas now.
Oh, wow. Wait, what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice, and
Hmm.
you stay in the car with the AC on during summer, of course. But it's a very nice experience. It's something that died may I say. It used to be back in the days, but in the Middle East, it never existed, at least during my time. And yeah, so it was nice seeing it back
Now it's
on the
coming back,
field. Yeah, yeah, it's
right?
nice
Because
to
of
tune in on
COVID.
your radio. You have, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Wow.
a nice experience. Yeah.
Hmm.
And it was full, by the way, all the time. So you would know that people would want to, first of all, they wanted to try out a new experience, of
Hmm.
course. But at the same time, they wanted to get this big screen. It's not the same as cinema. You have, depends on your car and which sound system you have, but still, it's a nice experience. It's different, which is nice.
Right. Sounds pretty good. And then as for like, um, I'm not sure how long you've been the movie marketing industry for, but have you seen like a change to like now is everything way more on social media and
Almost
online?
8 years.
Oh, 8 years, you said?
Yeah,
All right. So these
definitely.
8 years from 2012 to 2020,
Yeah.
I feel like
So
marketing
I've
has kind of
witnessed
changed.
the
Right.
change.
Yeah. Okay. So how has it changed from
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
started
big
off?
time. I used to handle budgets from 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, it's there's a delay. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, yeah. So has how has marketing for movies changed since
All right.
2012 to 2020?
Yeah, so basically, prior to that, we used to go with traditional media more. TV used to have a big chunk. Out of home, outdoor
Mhm.
marketing as well used to take a big chunk. Digital back in the days, it wasn't very precise. It was more of you just drop a post, and like most of the platforms as well, they weren't as diversified as they are now, and even phones weren't equipped more or less to accommodate, the whole digital world. And now with the rise of iPhone, Samsung, and you have the full screen experience on all of that, it changed a lot. And we have Instagram, you have TikTok nowadays, Facebook, and all of these different apps where you spend most of your time nowadays. I know that I pay a subscription for TV in Dubai. For the past 7 years, I've watched maybe 7 days out of these 7 years TV.
Right.
You
Like
you
actual,
know,
you mean
uh,
cable TV or
yeah, yeah, cable
yes.
TV. No,
Hmm.
no, not Netflix. I wouldn't say Netflix and so on.
Yeah.
But yeah, cable TV it caters to a different kind of audience, and there's a lot of shift with the newer generation as well, who's more in touch with their phones. They spend most of the time on the phones. They have everything they need on the phone, and we had to cater for that. And everyone wants to be connected on the go. We all lead busy lives. You always have your phone on you, and we can retarget you. We can, whenever we find the interest that you may have, and then we target people that have a certain affinity towards gaming, if we're talking about an action movie, let's say, and we
Yeah.
target different audiences as families, male, female. We can really target our the audience that we would want to move.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool how marketing's changed and it feels like we're entering a new world in filmmaking.
Yeah,
So right now we know there's like for some reason like movies have came together in Hollywood and you have Bollywood and you have different like centers
of
for
course.
films. Do you see a center for like Arabic filmmaking from the Middle East? Do you think there could be like a Middle East kind of Hollywood, or is that harder to set up?
It's it's we will have
Hmm.
we now have a lot of brilliant directors and award-winning directors
Right.
like Nadine Lebeke, for
Hmm.
example, and we have a lot of upcoming generation as well of filmmakers coming in. The thing is, previously in the Middle East, it wasn't something that your parents or would have pushed you to it. You would they would always push the handis and the doctor and all of this because for
Right.
them it used to make the right amount of money. And like the creative aspect of the of them pushing us towards it was never there. No one
Hmm.
would tell you, yeah, go study film and create movies, because no one believes that it will make enough money. And now with the digital world, with people getting to share, and these smaller movies, like you said, they have a better chance now to go on platforms where people would get to know them better, and they get discovered by a lot of more people and talented people, and sometimes studios. So we have a better chance now because most of the things are more on digital. Generations are no longer afraid or shy to pursue such a career. So
Mm-hmm.
they
And
are
people are
going
doing it.
after,
You see everyone on
and
Instagram.
I feel change. And people like my sister works in this field. She's a producer. Yes, of course. Yeah. My sister is a producer now. Back in the days, no one would have pushed me to be like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I really feel that there's a change in the mentality and the following and all of this. And now they understand how beautiful you're creating something out of nothing, out of an
Mm-hmm.
idea, and you're putting it out there. And this is something beautiful. And I'm glad that people recognize that now.
But it's also like, I feel like from what I understand, it's more than just like the artists and the creatives. It's also like in the markets that, like in France, for
Yeah,
example, or in Korea, for example, there's like the government, or there are like institutions that are kind of really targeting finding like amazing filmmakers and
absolutely. Yeah.
investing in their movies and turning a profit on it. Like Parasite won an Oscar. It's from Korea, right? So, and Korea is not that big a country. Middle East is bigger.
Yeah, I know.
So I
Yeah,
guess
yeah, yeah.
like, yeah, what like do you think like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
government might be helping, or I don't know how
Yeah,
it works.
I agree. I agree.
Right.
I agree with what you're saying. And yes, in Lebanon, the culture was always there. The movie industry started in Lebanon, more or less. If you want to talk about cinemas opening and distributors bringing in these movies and from different studios, they were all Lebanese people. And unfortunately, we had this creativity. We liked this field way before, but the country itself did not allow such a platform to
Right.
take place. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we were too busy fighting each other than
Oh my
building
god.
something
Mm-hmm.
on such a no. But it is the
It's
case.
true.
We can't
Right.
shy away from it.
That's the truth. Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, now it changed. And like in the UAE, you can see that there's a lot of support going for the local industry, for the film making. From our end as well, we're working with local directors as well to work on some movies as well. So there's a lot of support now coming in for the movie industry. And the thing is, again, I would go back to trying to figure out an ecosystem where these movies can survive inside the cinema once they launch. This is the thing. Because when you're competing with big movies with huge budgets and everything, it's very hard for you to cut through that clutter. And what we're trying to do is to create a safe environment for these movies where they can play and we can give them a chance. And then from there, try to make something bigger out of it.
I see. All right. So cool. So I just want to know like how early in the process are you involved? Like how early are you like, okay, this is a movie that's marketable. Is it from the script? Is it from like a treatment or something? Like what point do you come in? You're like, oh, this movie or it needs this to be more marketable so it can survive in cinemas.
Okay, so the
Yeah.
thing is, for the Sony movies, you get the script. We discuss sometimes silent, sometimes not. Sometimes it goes back to the director and whatever negotiations they're having and all of that. But when we really come in and really make an impact on this is whenever we get all the data and all of these different kind of assets, the videos, the ads, all of that. It's for us on a local level to understand what our audience likes or dislikes and to choose these material and to advertise them to this audience and to the different audiences that we have. So where we come in is when we want to select something that is, as I said, like compatible with our region. For
Right.
example, for some, if it's a murder mystery, for example, we would wish more on a murder aspect. Or if it's a drama or horror, let's say, we push
Mhm.
more on the horror because we know that the audience loves horror and loves action in the Middle East. So we try
Okay.
to cater with that material. So that's it. We're choosing posters sometimes. It mostly we're different from what in the US do. So whatever the domestic trailer is, there's
Right.
always something called an international trailer as well.
Okay.
So you get to choose within that, but we don't cut up the trailer. We play it as is. We get to choose, but we cannot do anything to it.
Oh wow. All right. That's very insightful. That's good to know. All right. We're gonna transition to the next segment about the Traveler, Charbel. But
Yeah,
before we do that, I
yeah.
just want to know what are your favorite movies?
Favorite movies.
Mm.
One of the first second year second year I joined the company. I was working with on 20th Century Fox movies. I remember I released two movies, Grand Budapest Hotel and Birdman.
Wow, that must have been
Yeah,
crazy. One of the first times, right? And those movies are
man.
the best.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I like both of
Mhm.
them. I'm in love. Like I watched them early on. I managed to work on their campaigns and all of that. So it was a super cool
That's
experience
so
for
cool.
me.
Yeah.
Um, from childish gaming thingy, not even gaming, but I love Guardians of the Galaxy.
All
I've
right.
watched them 1,000 times. Like I'm a sucker for these. And what taxi driver.
I see. This guy,
I love.
Scorsese. Yeah.
It's there's so many movies, man.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
true.
Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, but Wolf of Wall Street as well. I remember when I watched it back in Lebanon, man. It's there's a lot of good movies, man. That's the thing. And as
When
you said, it's so diverse,
Mhm.
and there's so many smaller movies. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Sounds good. I don't know. Maybe you can also tell me about this. Do you get involved with any of the like the censorship of movies? Like if you saw Wolf of Wall Street in Beirut, do they show the full movie as it is, or oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, amazing, good, original vision, sounds good.
So
But the Middle East,
yeah,
there,
exactly. But the thing is,
yeah.
so when you watch it, I don't get to decide.
Sorry, you were saying, yeah.
Tell me.
So there is censorship in the Middle East for different movies. I'm aware of this, right? Like some, I don't know if you're fine to talk about, but I heard like Wonder Woman, for example, didn't air in Lebanon or a bunch of the Middle Eastern countries. I know
Yeah,
and I know there are some movies
true.
that are even censored. They have parts that are censored. Um, what like what
Yeah,
do you have to? Is it changing or is it like this or is it just the way it is?
it is with censorship. It's the thing is, it differs from one country to another when it
Right.
comes to
Okay.
censorship. And whenever we want people to watch the movie, we try to push movies as much as possible for them to air because we want to celebrate each and every movie. And the thing is, the problem is each country has a different red lines, and we have to cater to these red lines. We cannot just go and say we're going to air the movie as is. And it's something that's discussed with the local authorities, and then we watch the movie and assess the movie accordingly. And it's not just random cutting up the movie. And we
Right.
always want to work in a way, if we need to cut the movie, it needs to keep the movie as uh, as is, more or less. We don't want to really ruin the plot of the story. Back in the days, I remember there used to be a cut like they go inside the room, it's the second morning, and you don't know anything. What happened? Did they
Right.
talk? You wouldn't
Or
get
on the
any of
plane.
that.
When I watch movies on the plane,
And yeah,
sometimes
so
that's like that. Yeah. Hmm. All right.
yeah, so yeah, from one scene to the other. So what we're trying is to minimize this kind of thing.
Hmm.
There's different ways, but we want to keep the plot or the timeline as untouched as possible.
Gotcha.
And we always have this discussion with the boards, the government boards. And if sometimes we really feel that it's gonna cut up the movie to a point where it's not gonna make sense, then we don't release the movie.
Oh wow. Okay. Fair. All right. Sounds good. And okay. What about let's switch it up. Talk about your travels. Can you tell us how many countries have you traveled to, Charbel?
Yeah, I've been to 35 now.
35. All right. And what's the most beautiful place you've been to?
Oh man. Most beautiful place, I would say the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different, man. The island life there, it has a different feeling. But again, Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, the whole of Tanzania. If you go to Zanzibar, you have the beach and the island life. You can climb the mountain, you can see the city life. So it's very diverse. But like every country, I feel has a different aspect to offer, and that's why I started traveling.
I see. And when you travel, like, like? What do you do in your travels? Do you do any like um what's it, like sports, or do you just like to climb, or do you like to explore and
So
take
I
photos? Hmm.
Yeah, so basically what I try to find a lot of local culture. I like to see what's it like living there, meeting new people and all of that. At the same time, I want to visit whatever sports, or not sports as in but like different activities of exploring the country. If you can climb a mountain, I would climb it. If there's a dive we need to do, I would go dive it. So you need to explore even the hidden places or the big places. Sometimes it goes too touristic. I try to avoid these. I try to find something that is more on the side to visit. But again, like some things you cannot not see.
Right. True. And then so when you go to the Philippines, for example, is there something about like just the lifestyle there that's like, are they like calmer or happier, or is it more the country is beautiful, or um where have you seen like
Yeah.
the
So
happiest people? I don't know.
the happiest people,
Mhm.
I would say it's Nepal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically, my first travels were Jordan, Cyprus. They're
Right.
like you're around the corner. You're not really exploring a different culture. You're more or less the same to a certain extent. That even geographically, it's the same. But my first big travel was in Nepal, and when I went to Nepal, it's a different culture. It's a different world, literally. And people there, man, they can have so little, but you'll always see them smiling. It's insane. It's
Right.
insane how welcoming they are. It's there's a different vibe to it, really. Like it's a different world there. And yeah, it's a beautiful feeling to really see these people. For example, we drove 3 hours on a bike. We went to a remote village. It's called Dampus, and there's like a
Okay.
360 viewpoint there.
Hmm.
And they don't have electricity in most of the village. They're like, I don't know, 30, 40 houses. And it happened to be that we visited it on a Sunday, and they were all sitting there and they're having a picnic style, like the whole village. They're having a picnic. They have a radio on, and there's like a huge blue sheet on the floor, and everyone's dancing on it. And then we got there, and they're like, "You need to eat, come dance." We started dancing in the middle. Like it's a beautiful experience from
Right.
people you would never meet, and it's insane.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I see that like a lot in Lebanon also, like in the dayas, or the villages that are not from the city. The people there are, I don't know, it
Yeah,
feels like it's maybe more simple, their lives, but they also like they have a better community. Like they know
friendly.
their
Yeah,
neighbors. Everyone in the daya knows each other. Everyone in the village
of
knows their
course. Yeah,
neighbors, right?
yeah,
Versus
yeah,
when
yeah.
I'm in the city in
That,
Beirut, I don't know who lives like in that apartment next
yeah,
door.
yeah,
So that's pretty cool. Do you know your neighbors? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and Dial, not a lot.
No, okay, that's fair. All right, that's fair. Mhm.
No, but the thing is, like, I haven't been there in ages, like, but I do agree that in the villages, you have a more welcoming feel from the city, of course, but at the same time, I hate to go through that, but like at one point, how small Lebanon is, and there are some areas you would try not to go there,
Yeah.
and you have a different idea, and that I hated, honestly. Like not to be able to go within your own country and feel welcomed, and you
Right.
go to a remote village in Nepal on the other side of the world, and you feel even more welcome.
Mhm. No, that's true.
It's
That's,
weird.
yeah, it's a culture thing. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about, what do you, let's flip it around. that's not if you want to answer this. I don't mean, but what's like the place that you felt like, wow, I really don't like this place. Or
Turkey.
if that, what?
Turkey.
Turkey has some beautiful places, and Istanbul's
I'm not
really
saying
nice. No,
no,
I know.
but
Yeah.
I no. My experience there was not that good
Okay.
when I visited. Like, and to be honest, I visited for like 3 4 days. I didn't go around. There's
Right.
beautiful other places like by the sea. I know. A lot of friends
Yes.
went there.
Yes.
They love it. And they told me about it. But my experience there, 3 days, Istanbul, it was super busy, and people were not
Right.
welcoming, not one bit.
No, I
My
can. I can
God.
imagine. Yeah. 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 No. No.
So yeah, so I told a couple of Turkish friends of mine, and they flipped on me. But yeah,
That's funny. Yeah. No. All right. All right. That's pretty cool. Are
yeah.
you so now you're in Beirut? Are you gonna travel anytime soon, do you think, or is everything just up to COVID? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm based in Dubai,
Okay.
and the good thing is now we opened a corridor between Dubai and UK, so you don't have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Okay.
You just need to get tested and you're there. So I was thinking for the holidays, maybe I'll go spend a couple of days there. But like long travel, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it because you never know when the country closes, and I don't
Right.
want to be very far from home. You don't know when you're going back to work, to actual desk job instead of remote work. So a lot of things happening, and the fact that COVID, you don't want to be in a country as well that that they don't have like a proper medical system. For example, you would never know if I catch corona in a foreign country. It's gonna be an insurance nightmare, and like it's a whole thing. And
Right.
if you travel far, in my opinion, like there's a lot of responsibility that you have to take whenever you do that, especially with COVID,
Right.
whether they believe it or not. But yeah,
Yeah, but I feel like, but at the same time, this is the time everyone's outside, right? COVID, like you can't go into like indoors like restaurants and stuff. So me and my friends, we just been going out or going to the skate parks here, going to the beach or going, or exploring, hiking, right? So I do feel that like maybe travel from country to country is like harder, or from big place to big place, but within
yeah,
the place, right? Have you been
yeah.
exploring, like, I don't know, different places
And
from
in
inside your country? Yeah.
Beirut, honestly, yeah. So I was telling you before, I came to Lebanon for 4 months, and I
Mhm.
haven't been here in Lebanon like for one stretch over 4 months in 8 years now. And when I came back here, I know Batroun. I've been to its beaches, but it
Right.
was only like go in the morning, by sunset you're heading back home. I never explored the actual city. And I spent maybe a month and a half out of these 4 months in Batroun.
Right.
Like it's a different feel. It has this daya appeal that you talked about, but on the beach, literally. Like
Yeah.
small houses on a small street.
Hmm.
You go in, everyone's saying hi to each other. Everyone knows each other. And then you're going in, you don't know anyone. Everyone's saying hi to you. You go eat like in a very good fish place. I met friends that own a fish place as well in Batroun. I'm never getting out of that place. Oysters, and like you get to meet different personalities, different people, different activities, and it was a super cool experience, honestly.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, Beirut is really a beautiful city, and Lebanon is a beautiful country. Maybe just
I know,
friendlier.
man. That's why. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love.
Right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's the thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the only thing that like pisses me off when you see what's happening in Lebanon and how much potential it has and how much it has to offer.
Hmm.
And like it's different. Honestly, it's different, and it's a shame that like we're losing coming exploring the country because there's a lot of people that come and never leave.
Right. Yeah. Some people come to Lebanon visit.
Again, I don't want to sound like
Right.
my parents as well. like with the Lebanon has everything. You go ski, you go down and swim in 30 minutes, like all
Yeah,
of that. Okay,
but it's
it's true.
true.
I love it.
Hmm.
It's not the most beautiful country in the world, but it's true. Yeah, yeah. But like again, it has so much potential. It's so beautiful. The
Hmm.
greenery that we have, the beaches, and all of that. It's really impressive for such a country on a small scale.
Right. So
And
when you mean potential,
like it competes
sorry.
with the world.
Yeah, when you mean potential, you really think it
Yeah,
can compete with the world on like a bigger scale if there were like proper investments? And what do you mean like potential? Um,
definitely.
right?
Yeah, definitely. Why not be a real like a very prominent destination when it comes to travel? Why won't we be a country where everyone wants to travel the same way we travel to Nepal, for example, or
Right.
to
Hmm.
Thailand and all of these countries? Why wouldn't we be this on that scale? We have so much to offer. The country is beautiful. Like it's unmatched with its neighbors when it
And
comes
the
to
food's the best.
with the mountains and everything. The
Right.
food, man,
Right. Hmm.
and there's a huge there's a lot of chefs, and we've been featured in a lot of articles worldwide, like which is really impressive for
Hmm.
Lebanon. And unfortunately, we keep on losing these opportunities. For example, you know that ice cream place, Hanna Mitri, he's like super world renowned. He's been posted on CNN
All right.
top one, I think, ice cream maker in the world. The Washington Post, the Guardian, all of these big outlets, they posted about it being the best ice cream, and now the whole store is destroyed because of the blast, for example. That's one
That's
out
one.
of like the
Right.
forests that we have, the hikes, the skiing, all of that. Why aren't we like a skiing destination? We're the
Right.
closest to the whole environment, like all around the GCC. No one has skis, ski slopes, or snow, for example, that would have came here if we were a proper destination. And they used to come here up until like really things went back and people stopped coming. And we could have explored Europe as well. Like we have the potential, we have so much to offer, but the problem is it's never too safe for you to come. And that's what I get
Right.
from a lot of friends,
Hmm.
expats. There's a lot of friends that they're like, I would love to go to Lebanon. We know what nightlife is. We know the food. We love it. But like, is it safe to go there? In their mind, it is a war zone. It's still a war zone because there's nothing showing on the news other than this. If we really showed what we have, the things that Live Love Beirut are doing, for example, the
Right.
videos about Lebanon, so many artists and digital creators here in Lebanon, they're creating beautiful content, all of this work over the years, posting and people talking about Lebanon, and then this is, let's say, we reached 1%, 0.5% of the population, and then you have 50% of the population worldwide, like the half of the 8 billion that exist, the 7 billion, they knew about the explosion that
Right.
happened in Beirut.
Right.
But I did not know that it's beautiful to go ski, to visit the beaches, and all of that. We always have a war going on, so people need to hear about us, or we have a nuclear bomb that got set off in the capital, and
Hmm.
literally the whole world knew about it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, it just shows you how like powerful sometimes just like marketing is, or just social media is, or just the way
Yeah,
you like you see things. And it also shows you how important like art and culture and music and
of
films
course.
are,
It's
because
so
like
much.
that's how you like connect with people, and that's how you leave an impression. Like everyone thinks
Of
of,
course.
right, a city, they think of the music from that city or from the, and there Lebanon has a lot of artists and a lot of creative, but we're swamped by the by the explosion that's
Yeah,
like on everyone, that's everyone saw, right?
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That's the problem. And
Mhm.
even like, I don't want to be political, but
Right.
even during the revolution that happened a year ago, you've seen how many artists as well like showed up, photographers, animators, cartoonists, all of that. There's a
Right.
lot of talent that showed during that revolution, showing we do have this creativity part of it. We are different. We can do much better. But the thing is, again, the country is not allowing us.
Right. Hopefully we'll allow ourselves someday, sometime. Hopefully artists keep
We will
creating, and
one day.
one day. No, I'm excited. I'm looking
We're
forward
getting
for it.
there.
Yes, we're getting.
I'm hopeful we're getting there.
Yeah, I'm hopeful too. I'm hopeful too. As long as we keep reaching out to people like you and other optimistic people, build a community, it'll be great. Thanks, Charbel, for coming on the show today. This is our time for today.
We will.
I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. That was a great talk. Is
Thank
there
you.
anything you want to shout out or say before we wrap up here?
Same here. Thank you, man. Try to explore as much as possible. Don't really like
Right.
traveling opened my eyes on so many different things. And yeah, instead of looking on a micro level, you will get to see the bigger picture and how beautiful the world is and how much is there to experience and to visit and all of that. So try to put aside as much money as possible and travel with it rather than buy random things you may not or may need or want, but like at the same time keeps a part of your amount like money to go travel because
Right.
it's really something a beautiful investment you would do. So
amazing. Yeah, and don't forget about people like sometimes go by their time and they just forget to take a break and explore. And we're just adventurers.
yeah, man, definitely. And even like as you said, you can explore your own country, man. There's so many things I bet you that
right
we don't know in Lebanon and we haven't seen in Lebanon. And imagine Lebanon is like 10,000 square kilometers, which is nothing. So imagine in the US, for example, how much you would have to go visit and explore with all the national parks and all of that. So there's always something back there. It shouldn't be something expensive. If you can afford a ticket that's $2,000, it's fine. Something in your backyard is worth exploring, and it's much cheaper.
True. And well, thanks Charbel again for coming on. Make sure to watch movies.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, if you're not watching movies, watch more of those.
Thank you for the invite.
Yes. Sure. Yes. Watch all the movies
Monster
you can.
Hunter, December 3rd.
Monster Hunter.
MENA region.
Yeah. Amazing. Cool. And
I'm kidding.
No, of course, man. Shout out my movies. If you want to check out my movies at scoobs.mp4, you can go to my Instagram, alihaejl.com.
Yeah,
check out my movies. Yeah, and then thanks. Subscribe.
I would. I would.
Appreciate it, man.
Stop.
Talk soon, man. Thanks for this. Is how we sign out. And
thank you, man.
Peace.
Cheers. Bye.
Yeah. You're gonna do one on the show now, which is pretty amazing. I have to say.
I'm doing it digitally because I don't have like an overhead camera to.
No, don't worry.
Whatever, but this is like the way that I actually work with clients and stuff. So
amazing. So wait,
it made it interesting.
Here's my question. Do you like draw it using this bad boy, or do you go like?
No, hell no.
Oh, that would have been like. That would have been like, dude, you're crazy. You're on some like X game mode.
I've heard of people who actually do that, but no, dude, I don't do that. Like, you can actually buy a graphics tablet. It's not that expensive. Like, you can get one for like, I don't know, $50 or stuff. But you can also get like a screen tablet, and it's like